What if I told you that child trafficking isn't a distant horror story, but a nightmare happening right here, right now, in the US? This isn't something that only happens in far-off lands or in the pages of a crime novel. It's a grim reality unfolding in our own backyards, in our neighborhoods, and even in our schools. The very places we consider safe havens are sometimes the breeding grounds for this heinous crime. It's absolutely mind-boggling how many people dismiss the harsh truth of child trafficking as mere conspiracy. They turn a blind eye, perhaps because the truth is too uncomfortable to bear. But ignoring it doesn't make it go away. In fact, it only allows the perpetrators to continue their vile acts with impunity. The more we dismiss, the more we enable. But let's be clear, this is no theory. This is not a figment of someone's imagination or a plot line from a thriller movie. This is happening, and it's happening now. Real children with real lives and real futures are being torn apart by this monstrous industry. It's a cold, harsh reality. A reality that is as chilling as it is pervasive. The streets we walk on, the buildings we pass by, the institutions we trust, they all have shadows where these dark deeds are carried out. It's a reality that demands our attention and our action. Behind the facade of legitimacy, federal and state agencies, private sectors and government organizations are engaged in a web of deceit. They wear masks of respectability, but behind those masks lies a network of corruption and exploitation. These are not isolated incidents, but part of a larger, more sinister system. An organized crime ring, masked as legitimate operations. They operate in the shadows, using the cover of legality to perpetrate their crimes. They exploit loopholes, manipulate systems, and use their power to silence those who dare to speak out. But don't be fooled. It's morally corrupt and ethically bankrupt. These are not just bad apples. This is a rotten tree. The entire system is complicit, from the top echelons of power to the lowest rungs of enforcement. It's a betrayal of the very principles of justice and humanity. Children's identities are wiped clean, turned into mere numbers and codes, making them invisible. They are stripped of their names, their histories, their very essence. They become ghosts, lost in a system that sees them as commodities rather than human beings. They're treated like experiments, as if they have no identity, no soul. They are subjected to horrors that no child should ever endure, all in the name of profit and power. Their cries for help are ignored, their pain dismissed as collateral damage. The federal government and its agencies are creating these false identities, manipulating lives for what they call help, but what is truly evil. They claim to be acting in the best interests of the children, but their actions speak otherwise. They are complicit in a system that dehumanizes and destroys. At the heart of it all, profits. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, fueled by greed and indifference. The lives of innocent children are traded like stocks, their futures gambled away for financial gain. It's a sickening reality that we can no longer ignore. Profits built on the abuse, neglect, and exploitation of innocent lives. These children are not just statistics. They are human beings with dreams, hopes, and potential. Yet, they are reduced to mere commodities in a market driven by greed. We can't turn a blind eye any longer. The time for ignorance and indifference is over. We must confront this evil head-on with courage and conviction. We must stand up for those who cannot stand up for themselves. Justice isn't just a word, it's a necessity. It's a moral imperative that we cannot afford to ignore. These children deserve justice, and it's our duty to ensure they get it. We must hold the perpetrators accountable and dismantle the systems that enable them. These children deserve to be seen, to be heard, and to be saved. They deserve a chance at a future free from fear and exploitation. They deserve to be children, to play, to learn, to grow, and it's up to us to make that happen. Join us in exposing this hidden horror. We need your voice, your action, your commitment. Together, we can shine a light on this darkness and bring about change. We can be the voice for the voiceless, the hope for the hopeless. Because silence is complicity. Inaction is not an option. We must act, and we must act now. For the sake of the children, for the sake of our humanity, we must stand up and fight. The time for change is now. Will you join us?